Olympiacos roll into the capital of Catalonia in superb form. The Reds have won 9 of their last 10 contests, including a win earlier this week in the French capital. It's no surprise Olympiacos are top of the table, 2 of the league's top scorers. We hear now from coach Georgios Bartzokis.
We are missing a lot our 2 guards, Thomas Walkup and Luka Vildoza are out. At the same time, this game against Paris was a little bit difficult for us. Nigel Williams got played for 35 minutes, and probably we're going to have some lack of energy.
3-time EuroLeague Coach of the Year, Georgios Bartzokis, and now it's Barcelona entering their home arena, fresh off a comfortable win over Maccabi 2 nights ago right here at home. Before that, the Catalans had lost 2 in a row. We hear now from their coach, Joan Penaroya.
Now, that match is important for our confidence, but today is a new game, new challenge against the best team at the moment in this EuroLeague, and it's a big game today.
Well, live images now from inside the Palau Blaugrana as FC Barcelona host Olympiacos Piraeus in round 26 of the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. My name is Liam Canny. As ever, my privilege to be with you tonight, and I'm joined in the commentary position by my colleague, Joe Arlokis. Joe, we've been looking forward to this game all day.
And you know what made it even better to them is 2 guys, the 2 teams that took care of business on Tuesday night. They did what they needed to do. And it's so hard because those are look-ahead games sometimes, and you have to be careful that Barcelona dominated Maccabi from the beginning, and Olympiacos the same thing against Paris.
Just to update the viewers, Barcelona beat Maccabi right here, 100-71. And as you said, Joe, Olympiacos won on the road at Paris comfortably, 90-73. Olympiacos right now top of the table, and Barcelona in 8th, one of those play-in positions.
Yeah, but we did hear Coach Bartzokis talk about the fact that Nigel had to play 35 minutes the other day because of the absence of their point guard. So that's something that can take a toll also because they've been traveling from Paris to Barcelona. It's not a long trip, but it's a trip nonetheless.
They're on the road 2 in a row in this double week, and you can see how the teams have fared. Barcelona have been up and down, but Olympiacos, no surprise, have been at the top of the table. Joe, you and I talked off air about some of the statistics that jump out for the Olympiacos team. Here's their lineup tonight. Williams Goss there. Tyler Dorsey, kind of the forgotten man. Will he feature tonight? And they've got a great front court with Milutinov and Mustafa Fall.
And never forget about Alec Peters also, man. He's one of my favorite players on that roster, who's a little bit unsung sometimes. As you see, this guy has been money all year long. Eric Fournier has been on the money all year. It's amazing to watch him. You got to check out our key players right now, and why not put him up first? 21.8 points a game in the last 5 games. This is crunch time. We talk about the last 2 minutes of the game being crunch time. Crunch time in the season right now, and Fournier is stepping up. A lot of people question his signing in the summer. Was he done? Does he care? Blah, 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 whatever. Talk about what he wants. You can see it in his attitude, how much this means to him. And this guy, I mean, you have the best defensive player of the year last year out, most assists per game, on the team. And Williams Goss just steps up, 14 points against Paris. 35 minutes of play, though.
Yeah, they haven't missed a beat. And, Joe, just on Evan Fournier, what's remarkable for me as you take a look here at the lineup for Barcelona, of course, Kevin Punter, their big scorer. Fournier having a great season, but he has yet to be a weekly MVP.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's a timing thing sometimes. You have a guy have a big game all of a sudden. Fournier can have a big game, and all of a sudden Vezenkov, his own teammate, scores 45 in the same game, and he gets that weekly MVP taken from him.
Well, Barcelona will play without the services of Nico Labrovital, a long-time injury, and Jan Vesely out tonight. You can see Kevin Punter getting ready for his performance tonight.
Kevin Punter, what do you say about this guy? 28 points, a little bit. I'm close enough with KP to say that's a little bit of a makeup job. He came in the 4th quarter, the game was over, hits 3 straight points, and then the funniest thing, Liam, is he gets an unsportsmanlike foul after he hits his 3rd 3 and walks off the court to get his rest. And Willie Hernan Gomez, who actually has been playing very well lately, doing it around the board, 7 for 10, getting those garbage points, those offensive rebounds, and doing his job. I mean, he's always had problems with coaches throughout his career. And the same thing going on here with Benyoroya, but now he's getting some time in the head-to-head, of course. Jabari Parker, who I love, but this guy, Sasha Vezenkov, he's the most dominant player in the league.
Yeah, he's first in scoring right now, over 20 points per game. And, you know, Joe, he's so efficient. Sometimes he'll score 20 points and maybe dribble the ball half dozen times in the course of a game.
Is he the Jokic of the EuroLeague? I mean, it's essentially what he's at.
Yeah, he's such a good player.
And you look at him physically and you say, how does he do this to me on a nightly basis? And he's so efficient as a player. That's what I like about him the most. And again, combine him with some of these other guys that they have on the team. It's a hard team to stop. And we've seen that. You started to get into it, Liam, the points that they've scored over the last 10 games. I wrote it down. I looked it up as we check out your team comparisons here. I mean, last 10 games, over 1,000 points. It's 100 points a game. Last 9 victories, 932 points, 103 points per game in their 9 victories.
And you saw they're top in assists in the league.
Right.
You know, I don't want to steal your thunder. I know you've been doing your homework.
No,
but,
Barcelona's not right behind them. I mean, they're only a tenth of an assist behind them, as second in the league. So, I mean, this should be an offensive explosion tonight, the way these two teams are playing.
Here's the head-to-head between the two coaches. So, Coach Georgios Bartzokis is a 3-time EuroLeague Coach of the Year, and Juan Benyoroya just joined the club this offseason with Barcelona, although he's an experienced coach throughout the ACB in Spain. He's been on the EuroLeague stage before as well.
Yeah, but not at this level, though, Liam. Not at this level. A lot of pressure. You see him with a 3-0 deficit to Bartzokis right now. And you know, for Olympiacos, as the standings sit, as we'll see, this is not, they can lose this game. They can afford to lose this game. Barcelona, this is a must-win situation for Barcelona. Madrid played the same type of game last night, a must-win situation. They lost. Barcelona is in a must-win situation where Olympiacos can lose a game, but there's no way they want to lose this one. And at this point of the season, Liam, teams cannot lose at home. You cannot lose at home.
You're right, Joe. There's a cluster of teams looking at the standings from Žalgiris in 13th with 12 wins. Paris in 7th with 14 wins. It's 2 games between all those places.
Yeah, but look at the bottom. You're 2 games from the bottom also. So it's just as precarious of a situation where if you go on a 3-game win streak, right now after this they're going to have a break. So they have a little time to take off, do their little the domestic league games and their championships. But then after that, it's like if you can come off of that break and go on a 3-game win streak, you pretty much secure yourself at least a play-in spot if you're Barcelona or one of those teams fighting in the end.
As the Olympiacos players take their position here on the floor, the club makes its 25th appearance in the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague. They're 3-time champions. They won their first title back in 1997. They beat Barcelona in Rome. David Rivers was the MVP of that year. And then back-to-back, 2012 and 2013, beating CSKA and Istanbul in what was a classic final. And then they beat Real Madrid in London.
And Liam, I know you well enough. You've got to be a big David Rivers fan, right? Notre Dame guy?
Absolutely. I had a chance to play pickup with him once. He came in and he said, have you got game? And I said, yeah, I've got the next game. He says, can I join you? Do you have 5? And I did have 5, but I went to my best friend and I said, you're out. You're out.
Yeah, you're not putting David Rivers on the bench, I can tell you that right now.
No way. And what a gentleman he is. And like you, an ambassador for EuroLeague as well. Ambassador for the club as well.
It's one of my favorite things that we do between one team and between ambassador of the EuroLeague. Getting to hang out with guys like Vucic, you know, David Rivers. David Rivers was like when I was growing up. I mean, he's about the same age I am, but I got to see him on TV with Notre Dame all the time. It was, you know, he was one of my idols growing up, one of the guys I looked up to. Because I mean, anybody going to Notre Dame when we were kids in the States was huge.
He was a very humble human being as well.
There's Mr. Brooklyn right there, speaking of.
Kevin Punter, his first season with Barcelona. Barcelona 25th appearance in the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague. They are 2-time title holders. Their first title back in 2003. They beat Benetton Treviso. And then in 2010, they beat Olympiacos in Paris. But it's been a long time for Barcelona. And Joe, is it a club that are under pressure? Is there a weight of expectation for them to claim a title? They've been in the Final Four 17 times, but won only twice.
Yeah, and in the last couple of years, with Jasikevic just as their coach, they got there, they got to the final, they lost. Of course, everybody knows he's 0 for 4 in the Final Four at this point. So yeah, in Barcelona, it's a pressure job, and you know, it's always been tough. Juan Carlos Navarro is the GM now, and this team is one of the most, to me, is the best Spanish player ever to play the game, in my opinion. And it was so hard, that transition of when he was going to retire, when the team was going to move on to the next level. They just haven't been able to get over that hump so far since he's left that team, because they haven't had that killer. I think they have it in Kevin Punter now.
Here's your starting five on the floor for the visitors. So it's Olympiacos with those 35 minutes in his leg as the point guard, Vezenkov, the captain, Papa Nicolau, Evan Fournier, and Gustavo Fall. And Joe, off air, you and I were talking about the array of perimeter players available for this Olympiacos team.
Yeah, they have everybody. I mean, it's the same thing with Barcelona. They have guys coming off the bench. The other day, the bench almost outscored the starters. So both teams, you see Punter, Sandrowski, Parker, Parra. Parra's getting a start tonight, but he hasn't been playing that much lately, and you saw Fall in the middle. So it's you know, you have to defend the perimeter. These guys are all three-point shooters nowadays. Yeah. They love to shoot from the outside. There's your three. We call me three wise men.
That's right.
I think I got that from you, man.
I think I got it from our colleague Ronnie.
Is that from Ronnie?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So you know what they say? It's constructive plagiarism.
Love it.
Well, good evening, everyone. I want to notice to any Spanish speakers who are joining us tonight, and a very warm County Spena to any fans of Olympiacos. There seems to be a raucous atmosphere here in the Palau Blaugrana. We are just in the shadow of the football stadium next door, the new camp.
Construction all around us.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, these two teams met back in round 7 at the end of October in the Peace and Friendship Arena in Piraeus. Olympiacos won that game comfortably, 95-74. Joe, if you're Barcelona, you don't worry about the head-to-head. You just try to go out and win a game, I imagine, right?
Like I said, we see your assist leaders right there. Both teams at the top of the league in assists, 20.8. I mean, nothing separating the two of them. So, again, offensive explosive with the efficiency that they have offensively. But right now, Barcelona's in a must-win situation. They don't care if they can win by a half a point tonight.
Yeah.
They just need the W.
Especially at home. Again, last game that these two teams played, we're in the double week, round 25. Barca beat Maccabi right here, 100-71. Kevin Punter had those 28 points. Olympiacos won on the road in Paris. We'll see, Joe, if that traveling, as you alluded to, maybe sluggish start for them.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. It's an interesting concept because I did the Madrid-Maccabi game right before Madrid played Olympiacos a couple weeks ago.